All right. So we're recording now. Yay. So we have the meeting notes from last month, which
January.
we will do right here. That's actually this month. We'll do that share screen there. You will see something. And now you'll see last month's meeting notes. The 1214. This is the old logo, which is there no more.
Old logo.
No more.
More.
All right. House reports. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All right.
Did you see Jonathan in the chat?
Mr. Meeks. I still can't record.
You're recording, so if you send me that file after you're done, it's fine.
Okay.
It's a small MP4 file. You just got to upload it to the drive.
All right. I recorded it to the cloud, so maybe that's the right thing.
The cloud.
Let me see.
Even though you're recording it to the cloud, it will still create its own file, and you can
Cool.
It'll create an MP4 or something less. So either one will work.
All right. After the fact, I might have to hit you all up if I'm going to mess it all up. Because
Just let us know.
Y'all smarter than me on that stuff. All right. I just sit here and look pretty. That's my job. All right, y'all. So we have a couple new folks on the call. So we'd love a brief intro from Mr. Peter. And we'll talk to Dennis here in a second as well. Peter, what's going down, man? Welcome aboard.
Well, yeah, I'm excited. Thank you, guys. I'm actually sitting at my desk at the Mercer Island Boys and Girls Club right now, setting schedules for COVID. Yeah, so I'm excited to join. I do a lot. My house is, I'm moving to Bonnie Lake here in about a month. So Pierce County and South King County will be my new home for games. So I'm excited to join the board.
Cool. Are you still going to stay working where you are currently?
Yeah, I just started about 2 months ago. So I'm the athletic director at the Boys and Girls Club. So we basically service kindergarten through high school, middle school kids in every sport except lacrosse. So wow. I'm on the football board, the baseball board, soccer board. So yeah, it's been a life-changing experience.
Right on, man. Well, you'll have games. You can cover games all over the place then, because you.
I know. So, and I do basketball and football. So I mean, I'll be every night again, as long as we get it going. Basketball's not gonna get going though just yet. So
yeah.
Hopefully I get an RCL game this weekend. I'm sure there'll be a few to choose from.
Yeah. So like I bust Dursa's chops all the time. You've been training. You fit. You ready to go? Peter?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
I get a whole gymnasium to myself, so I've been practicing wearing the mask. We'll see how it goes, though.
I know we're like a bunch of UFC fighters training, running around out there with our masks on. It's a fun time.
Oh.
All right. Hey, so we'll get to Dennis here in a second. I know that the plan is to appoint this guy to the board as a youth rep. So, the YSRC, that has to be Richard. Probably logging in twice here.
There we go.
Is that you, other Meeks? He's connected to audio.
Meek squared.
All right. Let's get rocking here. We're down to about 18 minutes with little Craig Allen here, and I want to talk about his stuff before we jet out of here, before he has to jet. I want to be respectful for Richard because he's got big prezo at 7 for us. So old business, NSO, we've got. So Jonathan, I think just briefly where we are at with all things NSO. I know this is spread around a couple different item numbers throughout our agenda. So Colin, be creative about how you take those notes. But yeah, what's our latest?
So there's a lot of stuff in the middle of all this reopening, of course, is the time that we're going to launch right after AGM. So, it's just a lot of chaos, which is okay because right now there's not a lot of games, I guess, or they're just starting up. So the website stuff, I think, comes first. I think the biggest thing that we need to do is get our back end in order, phrasing. But we need to make sure that refs can get games, that none of that's affected at all. So once we get the Ridge Star stuff moved from South King County to Northwest Soccer officials, that's when I'm really going to start the push for you need to get to Northwest Soccer officials. Now, there's a lot of the branding is still there. We still have the branding. We have the letterhead is now made. We have the videos, and hopefully I'll start another one with Richard with the return to play. But the biggest thing now is changing over the social media accounts and also what we can do with our Gmail. And I'm fairly certain with our Gmail, we can just change our username. So that's my big push now that thankfully all the website stuff is Elmer and with Mick. Now I'm going to focus on all the names and all the presentation stuff that's going to come with it.
I think it's good to first do no harm, right? Because you need to be able to assign and get games, and then we can worry about pretty later, right?
If I was a referee, a young referee, I would be asking, what the heck are you guys doing? I can't get any games. So I think that's our first priority.
Agreed. All right. Table this for just a second. As Mr. Craig Allen said, we just need a motion to add Mr. Dennis to our fabulous board as a youth representative. We got Tyler coming in as well. So
Motion to add Dennis to our board as a youth representative.
yes. Have a second.
I'll second that.
All right. Any all in favor, say yay or raise your hand in favor.
100%.
100%.
Good.
Craig, we can't see you, so you want to, if you're not on the screen and you want to chime in, type it. But and you are a voting member. Any nays? We got 0. All right, welcome aboard, Dennis. Thanks for being part of this craziness. You want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, sure. I'm Dennis. Some of you all already know me, but for those of you who haven't, I've been reffing 4 years and trying to add to my resume of reffing. Yeah.
Your voice got deeper, man.
Yeah. People say that I sound like my dad now, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old are you now, Dennis?
I'm 15.
15. You've been reffing for 4 years already. Look at that. Well, like that you're so old school. They don't even let you do that anymore. That's so great. So
Thank you.
congratulations and welcome aboard, man. So just we're going through a bunch of stuff and just glide along for the moment. Make input as you see fit, and we love to have you. So, okay. So it's the website, the emblem design updates were good. I think we're getting to the point of the USSF jerseys and donating and all that kind of stuff again as we start to return to play. So maybe we talk about it more in earnest next month, assuming everything goes swimmingly over the next couple of weeks. Again, putting ads in WYS material, monthly plan newsletter, that could be back in play as long as we are back in play. You see what I did there? Okay. Item 4, active mentor program. So this is something we're going to want to get up and running. So Craig, are you able to talk, my friend?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. So about this one, I think getting up and correct me if I'm wrong, your plan on this, but like getting stuff assigned first, and then let's start getting some mentors and grouping over the next couple of weeks. Once we kind of get kicked off again, any thoughts on on doing this in earnest as we kind of get back up to play?
So I think that the objective is right to have a single person at each location. You know, if we can do it for the majority of the day, or at least for what we're going to conceive is the busiest window of time. And I think that that's going to be dictated by the schedule.
Yeah.
So like WP has their games up and ready for this weekend. If we looked at that schedule, we'll see, I think games start at 8:30 a.m. and they run till what, 6 o'clock?
Yep.
So ideally, if we could put someone in there for, you know, a 6-hour window of time, which would be what, 3 match assignments, we can cover a majority of the day. What I don't want to do is I don't want to overextend it, trying to figure out how do we get someone from the first part of the day to the end of the day. The only thing I would think about, and I know that Richard's mentioned, is if we had someone there to start the day, that helps with the missing person in the morning, but that takes that person away and puts them on an assignment. And I don't know that we're always going to have somebody who's physically able to go out and officiate. So that would be one of the caveats of trying to get somebody there early in the morning and then stealing them to put on a game if we have a no-show.
So it's almost like to be eligible for the active mentor program, you can't just be
Yeah,
a mentor with 2 busted legs and a broken back. You have to be somebody who could
ready to go.
actually go play.
Possibly. I don't want it to be dictated as they have to, because if we're talking about them going to a game, then, you know, then they're not available for, let's say, 9 other officials on 3 other matches at that location. And I think you serve the greater good by being available to 9 officials than to 1 game. But as an assigner, I think you look at that as that's an available body and I'd like to put them on the game.
Yeah, flex. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Craig,
go for it.
question.
Yeah.
Craig, so are you thinking, and I hear the 6-hour, but are you thinking of chunking it up of maybe like 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the afternoon, or a full 6 hours?
So most of the time, the mentors like to do a larger block of time. Getting someone to go out for a 3-hour block and then being done for the day generally doesn't appeal to the mentor groups that we usually have. They generally like to go and they like to do 3 games and then be done. And so a three game block of time is anywhere between 5 and 6.5 hours. If we're doing 90-minute matches.
Okay,
Right.
thank you.
That makes sense. So from a timing perspective, do you have a target start date? If games start this weekend,
If games start this weekend, you know, so my biggest complaint is they put games on Sunday afternoon, and you either pick, you like football or you like football.
Football.
No, football, right? So given the short notice, I mean, I'd like to do it. I just don't know what the available bodies are yet or what the game count's going to be. We're what, 3 days away?
yeah,
From
I
Friday.
think that's too aggressive, right, for a new program, I think.
Right.
Just
I like
personally.
the weekend of the 15th and 16th.
Yeah.
I think that most of the clubs will have their games and schedules available by then.
Yep. All right. So if we target the 15, 16, do you need any assistance with that, Craig?
What I think I would need is from the assigners, and we can do I'll do a follow-up on an assigner thread to confirm locations. Like we were talking about, it's going to be based on a facility that is able
Right.
to accommodate large numbers of games to get the most effect.
Yep. So where's Summit Park again?
I think, isn't that Bellevue? I don't know. Does anybody know?
It says Maple Valley on Google.
Yeah.
That's new. And then
Oh.
also the one by the airport, was it Valley Ridge? That might be something.
No,
Oh,
exactly.
it's at
There's another one.
The Summit one is the new one at Maple Tahoma High School, the new high school on the opposite side of where the
Yeah.
field is.
Okay.
Okay.
It's the new
So there's
park.
3 fields there.
Okay.
It's nice. It's a nice facility.
Yeah. It's also kind of triage too. Like, Petro has 2 fields. So like all of a sudden, like it's a nice to have, but not necessary when we're stacking it against Starfire and WP, right? So
I think it just depends on the game schedules for next weekend, like where the games are actually.
yep.
Right.
Yeah, PSPL is not starting, right, Craig, until like the 20th.
Yeah, that's correct. I think it's the 20. Yeah, the 20th.
20th. So we pretty much have we have Valor, Pack, Washington Premier, and who else kicking in?
Cindy, do you have anybody kicking off this weekend?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cindy, did you hear me?
Yes.
Did you have anybody kicking off this weekend for trials? No?
Well, no, not officially.
Okay. Well, it is trials. So hey.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Get into that. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
She said, give me a minute.
Yeah. She got
So
double.
it sounds like we're going to target the 15th, 16th. Agreed. I'm down with that. Anything else on old business before we jump into some new stuff from Ricardo here? All right. We got a few return to play updates and maybe some SRA updates as well. What are you doing the way over there for, Cindy?
So my games in East King County were just canceled.
What?
I signed up for games on Sunday for East King County and they got canceled. So that was a surprise. But
Super Bowl.
it's gonna
Super Bowl.
it's gonna happen where people test and they have to cancel games. That's gonna be a thing coming up.
Not just American football Super Bowlness. Okay.
Yeah.
Richard, let's go, bro. Let's
Hey, what do you want? I forgot to bring up my agenda, so you're gonna have to lead me through this.
Okay, so all I had in here so far was updates from Washington Soccer Referee Committee, return to soccer, and the return to, there would be like club return to play updates, high school return to play updates, SRA updates.
Okay, so do one at a time. Let's go with SRA updates. There's no update in Jim's replacement at this time.
Okay.
They do have the Monday night webinars continuing through February, and then I think we'll assess again how that continues in the frequency. Because some of us are trying to advocate for the reduction. We want them to continue, but we not sure they should be weekly once games get going, especially when high school starts.
Yes.
Yep.
I looked, so Ryan's on here. I went and looked this weekend. It looks like our 4A schools for high school probably will start, like, I think it's March 8th. Our 2A schools look like they could be starting in the middle of February.
And we're doing the girls season first, correct?
Correct.
That's correct. Yep.
And then you guys talked about the 20th for PSPL, and that's going to be, it looks like PSPL still trying to play their boys opposite of their high school boys season, and then their girls season opposite of their girls high school season. So PSPL is keeping it separate. From the looks of it, Washington Youth Soccer is not going to, we're just going to be, kids are going to be playing for high school and club at the same time.
Fun, fun, fun.
Yeah, nothing like breaking our children. Just keep running, ladies. It's okay. There's nothing wrong.
Yeah,
You're robots, right?
I think on my daughter's side, I think the plan is the club will not require the kids to train with the club.
Oh yeah.
Play Saturday games. So
I know March 1st is when Kinko starts, so
that's
2A Kinko.
those are tryouts.
Okay.
I think, well, right now, they may have changed it today, but last I heard is no, tryouts are the 24th, and then yes, games will start March 1st, and they'll run through April 3rd. And then there'll be a 6-week break, and then the boys are, I want to say May 3rd to like June 10th or something.
Do we know anything about like the 1A schools and like the
They're gonna
Christian?
Yeah, they're going to be kind of all over the place. Our problem with those schools are their schools are pretty spread out, and so the teams are made up of people in different regions in some cases, and so I've not heard from like I'm trying to think of who ours are, like Rainier Christian.
Mhm.
There's a few others that we have. They've reached out to me and said, hey, when are you going to be able to provide refs? And I said yes. And they said, we'll reach out when we're ready. And I've heard nothing. So.
And the boys 1A season is usually for South King County is the same time as the girls high school season.
Correct.
And
Yeah,
then
1B, 2B, yeah.
yeah, or whichever. Yeah, thank you, Colin. There's so many of them I can't keep track of them when they get beyond the
like 300 kids.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then middle school, I don't know if Kent and Enumclaw will try to have a season or not. We haven't heard from them.
Interesting.
If they're able to, I wouldn't be surprised if we actually saw them trying to play.
I know Kent,
especially since we have their seasons usually in the spring.
Yeah.
I know AD at Northwood, and they're trying to figure that all out for middle school right now.
My guess or really assumption is that, especially the lower 1A, 1B, 2B middle school, they're going to come to you all signers like Wednesday. Can we get on going on Saturday kind of stuff, right? I wouldn't put it past them, and it's not with intention. It's just like, hey, we got this thing going. Oh yeah, we need reps. So I guess be ready.
I work mornings, Richard, so I'm off by like 10. You hit me up.
Colin's gonna make $1,000 a day ref in middle school.
Heck yes, I need that money.
So here's Kinko Sports. So the girls will play from I'm sorry, May 3rd to June 12th is the boys. Yeah, so the girls are March 1st to April 3rd, and the boys are May 3rd to June 12th. I have not heard from John yet. But I'm pretty sure they're going to be on the same path. His plan was to start tryouts March 1st, March 8th, and then run through the middle of April. So that was their plan 2 weeks ago. But we know what plans are this year.
I know the Kent School District, they're still fighting to let the kids play in with the NPSL schedule. So they're waiting to hear back from the school board for the Kent schools.
So now that we kind of know what the league schedule is, then we need to worry about referees to actually get on those games.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think
Sounds
you
like
guys,
a lot of games, no refs.
That's right. I think you guys hopefully can see my screen.
Yep.
In regards to, we've already had another 31 people since the AGM get registered for 2021. And I know I sent out an email to all of South King County so I sent an email to all of South King County refs that were registered in 2020. I'm halfway through Pierce County, and I'm definitely getting hits from people to help them get on there to get it done. So I'm cautiously optimistic that we should be able to make it through the spring season with what we have, and then hopefully the restrictions in regards to in-person training and that become workable for us to be able to do recruitment for this summer to get us ready for the 2021 fall. What did I miss that was on your list?
So it's club return to play, high school return to play, and SRA updates. So I think you kind of touched all the three biggies. Craig, do you have anything else on your end, my friend?
Not really. I have a meeting this week with PSPL just to discuss the upcoming season. But really, I think that they're still also just trying to be reactive to what the high schools do.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. So we'll dive into officers' report. So nothing super new. I think from an action item perspective, I'm just trying to coordinate a few things, just kind of air traffic control at this point. Once we kind of, get settled on a few things, Jonathan, I think the QR code regarding NSO would be interesting to bring back up, and then utilization, like a few things we've been talking about now for more than the last year, can start to get it implemented. So I think we'll work on that together, because been on my to-do list. So Corey, thanks again for taking some notes at the AGM level. Did you send those out to Richard and team, Corey?
Well, I've been going back and forth with Jennifer to make sure I had the names on it correctly.
Okay.
And so I think I have it. They're done. So
cool. If you can send those to Richard and me when you're comfortable, that'd be lovely.
Okay.
And then any other update from you, good sir?
No, not at this point.
Not VP. Okay, cool. Thank you. And Colin, anything on the secretary level?
Quick shout out to Corey. Thank you for covering for me, taking notes.
How's the water park?
Vacation was good. I needed it, and it was perfect amount of time. I'm healthy and still working at Costco. So,
attaboy.
But in terms of secretary stuff, not really. Just looking forward to doing some games this weekend.
Sweet. And then Craig, we already heard from Craig, PSPL, whatnot. Jennifer Johnson, Wonder Woman, what's going down?
Not too much. Just worked with Corey on making sure we got everybody caught on from the AGM. So.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Cindy, are we starting this party back up? I think you gotta yell into your mic though. You're quiet, sister.
Well, enjoy it while you can. I sent out an email to all the Triaz referees. I've gotten back a lot of responses. Surprisingly, a lot of them are the same, that they thought that the 2020 registration would just roll straight over to 2021, and they didn't have to do any online training or testing. How's that? And that's the most common comments that I have gotten back, particularly from the first year referees that we brought in on 2019 and 2020. Didn't understand that process at all. So I'm hoping and have been trying to work with a bunch of them, trying to get the online training and so forth done.
Great.
Richard, a question about the SRC and this electronic whistle. Mandatory or recommended?
So what I read of the protocols, you either have to have an electronic whistle or you have to have a mask that works with a whistle that you can put in without taking your mask off.
Right. I mean, that's the whole thing. But I will tell you, especially since you're doing the presentation coming up,
yep.
I have a couple of assigners and administrators from HSA that does not understand this and thinks that's a barrier to youth referees officiating when we're trying to get the game up and going. And apparently they've had several unofficial scrimmages and so forth that none of this protocol has been put into place. So this is going to be just an uphill battle, but I wanted to give you a heads up because I know this. I've been trying to say, look, dude, you can't you can't be running down the field pulling your mask off and putting the whistle in, because sooner or later somebody's going to get that on video, and if there is a COVID outbreak and tracing, we're going to be all over the front page. And I have not seen a mask yet that will work for it, but then I can't say that I've actively looked for a mask that works with a whistle.
Yeah, I've seen some.
Anybody
They
done-
have a whistle. They have a whistle mask.
Is there, Ryan?
Yeah, they have a whistle. They have a whistle mask, like a mask with a whistle built into it. But I would avoid that one. Just get an electronic one.
Well, and that's why I'd like to really try and all of us be unified on what we tell people, because I still don't see how you can blow a whistle even with a mask and not have some of the spit and air escape.
The whistle's
Yeah,
built.
I think what's important is that what the protocols say, you have to wear a mask while officiating. The only way to continue to wear a mask and to blow a whistle is you have to have a mask that has the hole for the whistle. And if you don't, then you have to have an electronic whistle. And I will tell everybody, after running 5 miles on Sunday with a mask on, trying to blow a whistle out of that's going to be very difficult.
Yep.
Well, and like I said, I was trying to imagine, even if you had a hole for the whistle, you're still gonna have
it creates a gap.
hole
No,
on the
it's
outside.
it's got a flap and everything.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it is. I've seen a couple. It looks absolutely ridiculous. But if that's what people want to use, according to the thing, you can use it. But yeah, definitely, I just would tell people get electronic whistle.
Okay, one or the other.
Yeah.
Do you know how much the mask with the whistle flap is by chance, or who carries
No, that's how useless I think it is.
Yeah. You can
like
Google
$30.
whistle mask. It'll show up. It's just yeah.
Brandon, you said you thought it was $30?
Something like $30, yeah.
Yep, and you can get an electronic whistle for 15.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, just a heads up. Like I said, I know this is coming on your next presentation. I've gotten tons of pushback about it, and that is a barrier, et cetera, et cetera. So heads up.
It's basically required by default because it's impossible to do it otherwise.
That's what I tried to say, and tried to say, you shouldn't be down pulling your mask off to put your whistle up underneath to blow it.
No, you're right. Yeah, this thing, it just looks weird. It looks like, what is it? Something from Eyes Wide Shut. If you guys ever remember that
It's
stuff.
just, it's
Like-
weird.
It's crazy. For those of you that are older.
Again, this has apparently been the practice that I have an association doing, and I have lots of pushback coming from a particular assigner within the association on it that sees it as a financial barrier for use to referee. So just throwing it out, and I'm trying to stick to, hey, it's not going to work in mechanics, and there's a safety issue, and I don't want to see us on being tracked back and on some news station.
Yeah, I mean, there might be a bigger question of like, yes, Jonathan, the evil empire of Cairo, and Jonathan running it. Okay, so this begs. We've talked about things before like this, where if there's barriers, aka jerseys or whatever. I know, like, can we get a big dump of electronic whistles? Does it make sense to provide? Just have some for kids who need them, right?
Well,
I don't know.
That was going to lead into Richard, because Dan Compton, of course, pushed the SRC and the electronic whistles that the SRC was providing. I have not seen them because there hasn't been any clinics, so I don't know how quality they are versus a Fox 40. I am willing with Triaz to kick in money, and I also suggested one of my clients kick in money and buy, some whistles and take out to the field, because they're pretty good about monitoring the games. Take them out there and have them handy. Is this something that that we can do, or has somebody had any experience with the SRC whistles to where we could ask Jim or Phoebe or somebody if we couldn't get a couple of hundred or something? 100?
Do we have, well, I want to, I like the sentiment, but do we know what the scope of the problem is? Right? Because if the scope of the problem is, hey, there's 10 kids out there who can't afford a whistle, and we get 200 of them, that's a little bit overkill, right? And so I don't want to be blowing cash.
I was going, 100 for Trias, 100 for South King County.
I sent an email out to 900 referees. Not one of them raised a concern of being able to buy an electronic whistle.
Okay, then let's hold them all to that standard when they hit the field.
Yeah, I think that's the right answer. And I think that if there's one-off scenarios where, hey, I'm a young person and I can't afford an electronic whistle, will you help me? I think that shows like a proactive, like, and I will personally buy that person, or the board will, or whatever, right? So like, I think that, maybe putting it out there, Cindy would be like, hey, if you need help with this, let me know. And then we can like address it that way.
Yeah, because I think the initiative needs to come from the referee. If there truly is a referee out there that says, hey, I can't get this, I think they reach out to, either the assigner or, one of us,
Their
or if we,
mentor or
yeah.
something.
And if we get wind of it, okay, we pass it on, say, hey, I got a referee that can't get this. And I think it's going to be smaller than what we think. A lot
Like,
smaller.
What I'm sensing is the person that's pushing back with that argument, Cindy, is like they're hiding behind that, right? This is not the real issue. So they're like,
I don't want to use electronic whistle and stuff like that.
yeah. So
Well, I again strongly suspect from this club and NHSA and the games that they've already had, this this is it's going to be a change from mechanics and protocol.
boy, it's a change for everybody. This is gonna suck ass. It's good, right?
Yep.
So like, okay, you want a ref? Come suck with me. Let's go. I'll take everybody who wants to suck. Let's go.
But I also think for all of us at our sites, it should be something that we should probably have an extra electronic whistle with us.
Well, I think that, I know Craig is about to jump here, or already did, but I think that might be something, there's an opportunity there for if we have the mentors showing up, maybe they have a couple, maybe we could, that sounds like a methodology, or there's a process that would be there. Or they could even say, here, borrow mine.
Borrow, yeah.
So, well, while I'm watching.
You know how that goes with the badge, because then you never see it again.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Anyway, I'm just throwing it out because, as we've mentioned, and I just went through Dick's stores and so forth, it looks like the supply is low. And so if we're trying to gear everybody up right now, we're going to have a problem.
Right. Yeah. I think it was low initially, and it seems to have, the supply has met demand. So,
yeah.
$20 on Amazon.
On the use of whistle side of things, I think we need to be consistent, especially for Northwest soccer officials. But
yeah,
if you were going to ref one of our games, you're going to use an electronic whistle, or you're going to use one of the ones with masks, because just like we're telling the clubs, if we don't approach this right, then this could all get taken away. And I don't want our refs to be an example of why it gets taken away. So you have two choices, or don't ref, right? So those you have I guess you have three choices: don't ref, use an electronic whistle, buy one that has a built-in whistle that looks hideous and is difficult to run with. But those are your three choices.
Second thing, I did send off an immediate email last week to the SDI, Leslie, and ask her if we could start opening up and holding in-person clinics. She told me that she was going to send an email to the SRC and they would say yay or nay. And I asked her if USSF was open yet or not. I did not get a response on that. So I'm still waiting from her. What she did suggest was that I start scheduling a clinic, because per SRC requirements to hold a clinic, we have to have it 30 days out in the future. I told her I was going to need several, because since we didn't hold a lot of new clinics in our area last year, and research are coming in slowly, that it was imperative, particularly for our spring league, because I'll have in just West Seattle and Renton alone, though there will be enough to have a full fall league for home games. So I asked how to increase the clinics, because if you recall, when we left last year, she was only approving like 1 or 2 at Starfire and Tequila. And that isn't going to be enough to meet our demand if we need to bring in a whole bunch of new referees. So her advice was to put each client's name on the clinic. So it looks like even though I'm holding them at Starfire and Tequila, that they're being held by different clients. Does that make sense?
There you go. Yep. Put 2 up for PAC, 2 up for Washington Premier, 2 up for Valor.
Yeah, right.
Well,
I know that Andy plans to schedule some down at Premier.
Yep. And I know PAC will sponsor them too. Got lots of kids wanting to get out there.
Okay, so do you want me to put some in for PAC at Starfire?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna try to do this. If you've got clients that I can borrow their names from Northwest Soccer, would you send them to me so I can game the system?
Yep.
And we can get more clinics.
Game the system and get more referees. Woo woo.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And I don't know the protocol yet, since we can have 200 spectators at the, on the games. If that means that I will not have a limit, like 20 people, 5 groups of 4 on the field.
They're saying 200 people per field.
Yeah, total people.
Spread 6 feet apart.
Okay, so again, my dilemma here is, if we're restricted to 20 people per clinic in 5 groups of 4 or 4 groups of 5, then I'm going to need lots of clinics.
Okay. I'll get you some more client names.
Okay, but I'm on top of this. Ryan, my question for you, if Tequila Community Center opens up, we discussed holding a high school meeting there. Do you want to try an in-person meeting?
No.
Okay.
That goes under my #1 rule in life is don't invite vampires into your house.
Great Lost Boys reference
Yeah,
there.
that's right, man. Attaboy. You gotta go back to the 80s with me. That's how we're doing. We got like well, the 80s it wasn't the previous film was 90s, I think. So
Yeah.
okay. Peter's back. All right. So Cindy, are we good at this point on instruction? Thank you for all that. Anything else?
Yes, and thank you for your patience and everybody's chipping in and giving their opinions and a policy moving forward.
No, for sure.
That.
Yeah. I just think
Again,
that to reiterate, I think that the Brian's there's 3 ways to do it, right? The ugly whistle mask, the eyes wide shut mask, the electronic whistle, or don't ref. Those are the options right now. So as long as we're consistent, we should be okay.
Hey, Cindy, I know that Jim sent an email to US Soccer to try to get a feel for about new referee clinics. So I think they're trying to find out what US Soccer's stance is right now.
Okay. Like I said, Leslie said she was going to send it around to you guys, and then I know that USSF had to go there as well.
Okay. Well, we'll get answers, Richard. Yeah, I mean, don't have to wait till next month. If you get info, just fire it off from the email form. We'll get after it.
Yeah,
all right, Mr. Simmons, you got lots of video. Sorry, what was that, Cindy? Sorry?
No, what I don't want to do is barrage Starfire and Tequila with all of these dates if there's not a hope that I can get them.
Right. Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the instant somebody gets an approval, and I assume, Richard, you will hear before Leslie sends it out.
Hopefully.
I would appreciate it.
Yeah, put some special sauce on that, Richard. You gotta get the answer first.
The SRC, we don't even have a meeting planned on the book, so I'm sure that you'll get a response from her before we even meet.
Well, she just told me she was going to send email to all of you guys for a yay or nay. So, like I said, I just, last year, like 3 times I sent a whole, string of dates, 30 or 40 dates to Starfire and Tequila, and then nothing came out of it. So they were like, whoa, wait until, we know we can do it, and then we'll do it.
Well, we will get answers as quick as we can because we are very excited to get more refs in the pool. That's for sure. So Thank you. All right, Mr. Simmons, lots of video action. So long video, short video. It sounds like we're going shorter video at some point, or are we okay with the 134 video that we have?
The 134 did really well on Reels, on Instagram Reels. We got a lot of likes on that. I didn't realize that when you post on Reels, it posts on your posts. So it showed up on everybody's Instagram. Brandon liked it, I think. And I think Dursa did too. So, there's a lot of people that saw
it. I liked it.
But you hit the like button. That's kind of what I'm thinking of doing. We can do a lot of those. Instagram Reels is good. YouTube is good. We can always post it on Facebook. So those videos, I think, went over really well at the AGM. I think they went over really well on social media. So I'm looking forward to producing some more of those, especially with Return to Play. I didn't really want to bug Richard today because he has a big presentation coming up and all that. But at some point, we're actually going to want to visualize the instructions instead of just pointing someone to a web page and hoping they follow the instructions, because I know I don't read. So if we could get a video of someone like Dursa putting on a mask or something, or here's an electronic whistle, right? So we just need good-looking guys like that, to good-looking men and women to volunteer to be models. We can be on the forefront of that as NSO. We can put out our own videos to ensure that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about. But most of my time right now is spent on making sure that we're going to get the name change over. I think that's the biggest thing coming up. I think everybody's expecting that. So just the social media just to let you guys know, I'm in and Jeremy's part of this and all that. There's an email thread going on trying to get the website switched over. We're just missing 1 or 2 things. It's really particular questions about certain file formats and how things are laid out, and it may seem really lengthy or complicated, or we just want to get it done, but this is how Mick and Elmar are speaking in their terms, and if we want to talk to Mick, we have to speak in that language. And so when he's saying, instead of saying, well, here's a file type and can you put it on the website, he's like, no, we need an SVG file. And so I converted a file that I thought was rasterized, PNG file. And nope, that's not even good enough. So I took Hunter's original Adobe Illustrator file, converted that. Hopefully that's good enough. But even then, I don't know if it's a 36 kilobyte file. That might even be too big. You might want 6 kilobytes. So we're just narrowing it down. Eventually we will get everything squared away. But when that day comes, I've been told it's going to take a day for everything to switch over. One of the things that Mick doesn't like is that we have possession of our own name servers and our own domain names. Our own domain names, not name servers. We have possession of our own domain names. Usually Mick does that because he's the RidStar guy. But if we own those domain names, that allows us to break away if we need to break away from RidStar.
That's why he doesn't like it.
Yeah, well, he's in an email. He's getting very particular in his questions and very, specific, because he's flaunting his knowledge of the ways that things are done. and we don't have to engage him in the jargon like that. When the only issues are the name servers being changed, that's not a big deal, and who owns the website. So we do need to meet him on the service things that he needs, but we don't need to cave to him taking over everything.
No, right. And do we just need to reassure him that you're still our boy?
Yeah.
We love you.
Yeah, and
we're going to keep you around to make it feel better.
And all those questions he's asking are looking out for us. They're making sure that we're not spending too much money on our domain name and our hosting, and that serves us in the end. So he's looking out for us. We need to look out for him and make sure that everything comes together. That's happening right as we speak. And I'm also, along with that, I edited Richard's client communications. I'm kind of editing right now Ryan's communication to all the people about payments, because of all the payment changes have to be communicated. So I'm kind of formatting that right now in a way that that clients, it's easier to read for people who don't necessarily read documents. It's going to be probably 3 pages that we're going to send to clients about payments and changes. And so I'm kind of formatting them into bold, and, here's the, we're kind of a communications thing where Ryan says, hey, we're excited and stuff. And then kind of in a smaller paragraph says, here's what the stuff we need. You're not going to be able to have games unless you prepay. And, and have that in bold, and then kind of have, in the same paragraph, kind of have the explanation. So make it easier for them to see those changes and the formatting of all that, just since that's our first initial NSO communication with everybody. Those are the things that are taking up my time right now. Really looking forward to anything else that you guys have social media wise. If you have any suggestions, let me know.
I got a quick question, Jonathan. So when do you think we'll actually move to like the new domain name, like a couple weeks, a month?
I'd have to say it's probably within before Valentine's Day. I'd like to get it done before Super Bowl. But it's again, so this SVG file, I think, is kind of what's hanging up. I don't want to go back to Hunter and ask him for any more time to just export a simple file format. If we can, do it ourselves, and that's what I'm trying to do. It won't cost us anything, but we might need to go back to Hunter and just say, hey, can you just spend 15 minutes exporting this file in a different format? Because he's more knowledgeable about it. But I don't want to, that's potentially going to ask for money. So I don't really want to do that if we don't have.
That sounds like it's pretty soon, so that's good.
Yeah, and it seems like everything's going well, except for there's a lot of unknowns about social media stuff I still need to get it done. So that's my biggest hurdle.
Okay. Sounds like it's going well.
Yeah.
Good.
Right on. So Elmer, how you doing, man? You're on mute. Is he around? Maybe he'll come off mute. All right. So yeah, we'll get to the ads and whatnot once we get all up and running on the socials. Do the text ref too, kind of goes with the QR code. More information to be posted on the NSO accounts. All that's kind of tied into all the things, and it sounds like you get a pretty good grasp on the next order of things. Yuji was out last time, out this time, but he did accept. He is in as our referee academy guy still, so he's legit. We're hoping for Wednesday night. I should be sending something out here to him just to make sure we're still on for this week. Would love to kind of see that start to ramp up again. What we're going to be doing there. I think we'll stop workouts. Probably kind of permanently, as folks are going to be reffing on Wednesday nights again, hopefully again soon. But yeah, we have more opportunities of more what we originally envisioned the referee academy to be about coming up soon enough. All right, so Peter already introduced himself and gave us the lowdown on all his stuff going down. Anything else to add, Peter, before we keep moving along here?
Not at this time.
Cool, man. Well, thanks again for being on. Brandon, any update on you and your new and improved role? Moving from the Utes up to the big director at large. Woo woo. What's going down this week?
I know, making me feel old.
Yeah.
Nothing new semester at school, but that's about it.
Cool. All right. Are you ready to do some games, man?
Won't see me out on the field. No.
Not yet. Okay. Okay. We got you here. And then Dursa, are your legs ready?
I think so. I've been running past couple days. I think I'm ready. Finally.
I got this. I've been cramming, guys. I'm
Past
good.
weeks.
Okay. Okay. Weeks. Good.
I guess so. Spectators have to be 6 feet apart. We said.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, we all the clubs are supposed to send out instructions to their team, like to the other
Okay.
teams and stuff. And so, from a referee standpoint, like I know Starfire, they're going to tell everyone to stay off the turf. You'll be fine. And so, from a referee, I wouldn't, as a referee, don't get involved with spectators. Like if they
Okay.
want to hang out with each other and hang out with each other, they can.
I just think
love
like-
fest. No.
I just think like potentially a problem that could come up is they start going behind the keepers just like to try to space out. I feel like that could sort of I don't know come up, but
Yeah. So most of the clubs will. I mean, and this is something I guess Richard and and Craig should handle with our clients, but like Starfire is going to lay it out. They're going to say home fans here, visiting fans here, between here and here, and no options. And then Starfire is responsible for policing that. And if they start wrapping around the sides, then you can stop the game and tell the home club to deal with it, right? And they'll stop it. But it's the away fields that are going to be, it's the fields out of Starfire that are going to become a problem, right? That's not really
right.
But for referees, as long as they're 10 feet away, I would let the clubs deal with it, and I would avoid as much conflict as possible.
And then are the high schools still planning to have games even if they're not having like in-person classes, or is that not a thing they're really looking into anymore? Because I know before that's what they were talking about.
They're going to have 5 weeks of games, 2 games per week, but there'll be no postseason is the current plan.
Yep.
Every plan is unfolded, so who knows? We'll see.
Cool.
And that could actually go down by district is what I'm hearing, Dursa. So
Yep.
you could still see Kinko without Renton, for example, or we'll see.
Yep.
And then Mr. Dennis is new to the party here. I know we have a separate thread going about getting additional one more youth representative on here. What is the latest there? Remind me, my brain is full from a lot of things at the moment.
I have a potential name. I mean, I don't know how well everyone else knows him. Preston Bjorn, Brad Bjorn's younger brother. I know he's out of Maple Valley, and he does a lot of games.
Do you know how old he is?
I want to say he's like 15.
Okay.
14.
Yeah. He'd be a good choice.
14.
I'm going to really push us to find a female.
I have a recommendation.
Yay.
I wanted to recommend Angel Fan. I see her down at WP a lot. So, and I really like her. I like her personality. I'm hopeful that she would be interested. I think she's 16 or 17. So that would be a person I would want to recommend.
Any other female recommendations for youth that we know of right now? I like it. Do I need to start it? So Jennifer, would you be comfortable reaching out and seeing what her interest is?
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be fantastic. And then, like Colin, I think that's a great idea on Mr. Bjorn.
Just as a backup.
Yeah. And then I think that I like the concept of balancing it out. Having more women in the room to help keep them to heads in check. So it's good.
Do bylaws state anything about it has to be a male and a female?
No.
No, but we need equality on this board.
Yeah,
I'll just cut right to the chase.
I'm all for it.
100%.
Thank you.
I agree. I was just
I think it was just a curiosity question.
just didn't like
I know.
Yeah.
Brandon, you froze.
Like Jennifer got her. State your business. It's like when she was letting people in. Like, who are you? What was the terminology you're using? I forget. It was classic. Like,
I said, please identify yourself for the record. And I was like, oh, I was like, that's so work. Oh, sorry.
I was like, you're at work. So
But they
Elmer-
answered, right?
Yeah, they did. They got to use your mom voice. That was serious business. So, Elmer, are you working now, voice wise, brother?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, fantastic. So, Jonathan was talking about the fun with Mick of late. Just wanted to verify that you're on the same page with him on that stuff. Does that sound right?
That sounds correct. I just sent the email at the beginning of the meeting to those on the thread that are in charge of making the decisions. I think Richard, do I need any approval to go ahead and with the changes? Everything okay?
No, I
You
think
and
we're
Jeremy?
No, I think we're good. We're good with what I've been looking at the conversations, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Is anybody going to be able to make the files that he wants for us? Is Jonathan going to be able?
Yeah, I just am downloading right now Illustrator. I get it free, so I'm going to go do it myself.
Lucky. Dude,
Okay,
that's like, here's a
Are you going to be able to
brand.
make 4 different sizes that he wants?
I don't know. Is that in the email? The 4 different sizes?
I don't know if the 4 different sizes are on there, but I know he specifically said like a 16 pixel.
Yeah, I know. I would if we can get those exact dimensions, I can get those SVG files to him. I know that I can export them. I just need those file sizes.
Okay, I'll reply back to him and ask him what the exact file sizes he needs.
And I think after that, are we done with all the questions he has?
I hope so. Hopefully he can get going on it. So we'll see what he says.
All right. As soon as I get those file sizes, I'll send you an email immediately.
Thank you. Any other questions for me, Jeremy?
No, there's just one other thing that's still hanging out there from a while ago. Elmer sent list to Jonathan of referees still done 0 NSO game. So
do we know who should take ownership of the domain registration once this is all done? Should Elmer be in charge of that since he's the webmaster, or should Ryan be in charge of that since he was the one who did it?
Is Ryan on the call?
Yep,
I'm here.
If you want to maintain that, that's fine. If you want to hand it off to me, we can get on a separate call and you can let me know how to maintain that
I have
domain.
I have a generic account set up so we can go in there. I have to do it from a billing perspective, but if you want to manage it from a DNS perspective, that's fine.
Okay. I think GoDaddy does the DNS managing, right?
They'll do all of it, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so I don't think there's anything to manage on my side, but just make sure Ryan keeps paying for the account.
Yep.
If in the future, if we do have our own website, if we do end up taking Northwest Soccer Officials as our own, at that point, we'll probably need Elmer to take a more active role in managing a whole bunch of the back end stuff. But if it's just a redirect to Ridgestar, I don't think there's a lot of work in that right now.
Yeah. Rock and roll. That's what we had, Elmer. Thanks for showing up, man. Good to hear your voice.
Yeah, good to hear you guys.
Yeah.
Hope to see you on the pitch soon.
Yeah. Fantastic.
All
As
right.
long as you have an electronic whistle.
Yep, I'll get one.
All right.
I'll order 3 of them. Backup. Gotta have a backup.
Back up.
That's right.
Oh man. Oh, I forgot about backup.
Everybody better order a backup.
Extra batteries at least.
I don't want to
pause the game. Just wave your arms. Gotta put my batteries in. All right. Ryan.
All right, take care.
Thanks, man. Ryan, what's new in the world of treasury accounting fun and excitement?
So just the draft language I sent out to a select few people just to review, and I think Jonathan's going to make some edits there to make that a little bit more to highlight the things we care about.
Okay.
The big thing for this week, I'm in research right now, but I'm reevaluating, and sorry, I'm on 2 conference calls at once. I'm reevaluating our 501c3 status with the feds, because I would like to get some discounted pricing from Microsoft to be able to do some email accounts that are at nso.org. And so, I called the IRS today, I jumped through some hoops, and I'll hopefully talk to someone next week. And then I also reached out, well, the state, we're already a nonprofit, so that's not a big deal, but it's more with the feds and then what we have to file tax-wise and then report. And so hopefully we'll get a decision next week, but regardless, worst case scenario, if we wanted to do it, it would be $5 per email address. And so I think we should just identify at least a couple emails that we kind of care about, like payments, president, executive director, webmaster, if we care about it. Like, you got to identify the ones we really, really want. It's $5 per user per month, then it's $60 a year. So I would recommend, I'd like to recommend that we at least approve $500 a year for email addresses to at least handle those key ones. And then down the road, we can reevaluate for board members, and we could reevaluate for assigners if we want to. So, but right now I'd recommend president, executive director, treasurer, I was going to say communications, right? So we have at least 4. But no more than $500 per year to at least get that started. And if we go nonprofit, it might be free. We might get further discounting, but I just want to start with that ask of the board.
So is it $3 or $5? Was it a month or a year?
$5 per user per month.
So it's basically $60 per user a year.
Per year, correct.
Okay. Yeah.
So treasurer is really important. Got lots of communication there, and I'm selfish. President, I think, is probably another one. Executive director, for sure, those 3, and then we can add more if we feel it's necessary.
And we can build those. Just if we had I don't want to say a catch-all email address, multiple people could receive that if communication, right?
Like an info one, or I don't know.
You could do an info at northwestsoccerofficials.org if you wanted a generic one. You can't legally. I will advise you against sharing an email box because that would be in violation of the license agreement.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. No, I make a motion to put $500 per year for the budget towards email addresses for the new NSO.
Can I say something before you do that?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll work for what you're talking about, but I think I know with my businesses, we have our own website, but we set up all our email addresses through Gmail with our domain name, so that we didn't have to pay any of those fees to the hosting site. And so it's like Corey at letitrideparties.com. It would be, treasurer at nso.org, but it would still go through Gmail.
Yeah, it's like a top 3 account, right? And then it just checks top 3 account.
Yep, exactly. And then we wouldn't have to pay that money. So it's just a thought before we vote on spending money.
Yep. So I'm happy looking into that. I just want approval to go up to at least $500 a year to do something if something like that does not work. So.
What if we included all licensing fees? Would that be broadly cover stuff? Like if we gave you $500 for just to pay licensing fees for various business products?
Correct. Yeah, to register with Gmail or make it Google product. Like I don't care whether you use Gmail or Microsoft. Each one has its pros and cons.
Sure.
Yeah, I just want to put a line item in there to say, hey, we need to actually not operate as skcsrat@gmail.com. It should be treasurer at NSO or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think that this would be my thought. By having the money available, kind of paraphrasing, right, we can do what we need to do to have the success we need. And so, Corey, to your point, let's make sure we explore the free options first. And then if those run out or we decide that it isn't the right way to go because of XYZ, then we have the money available to do what we need to.
So Jeremy, are you saying like you're going to motion to budget up to $500 a year for official business
For
email,
licensing and
licensing addresses, whatever? All right. Okay.
Jonathan, would that work?
Yeah, and I think Gmail does a lot, or Google does a lot for us, but there's some stuff we do have to pay for, and that provides that certainty. So I think $500 for business licenses and other software would be a good idea in case we needed to purchase, like, Illustrator or not we do, but just in case we needed to purchase something this year.
Yep.
All right. So motion's on the table.
I'll second.
All right. Got it.
Right. All in favor, aye, or hand, or text?
Aye.
Cool. Any nays? Nothing from Elmer, and he's on there twice. Okay, Elmer. Thanks, man. Thanks for coming out, Elmer. All right. So we got a couple other wonderful folks that joined us. Bob, welcome to the crazy party. How you been?
Good.
Good on.
Bob?
Ready to get going.
Heck yeah, man.
Good to
Let's
hear.
go. Christian, how's your body?
Getting old?
Yeah. Can you run?
Nope.
Oh!
No, I can't. Not the way I used to. So if I can bring my Segway, I'll be all right. If you allow electronic whistles, they might as well get my Segway in there.
Okay.
Sure. Robo-ref.
Well, maybe you fit the bill for what Craig's looking for mentorship, and and you can have the broken legs and still go, man. So cool.
Oh yeah, no.
Cool.
I can go for I can do it, but the next day I'll pay for it.
Yeah. Yep. All right.
So it's gonna take some healing, and we'll see. Try to find a doctor that will work for it.
Yeah.
Might have to have a mini knee.
Oh boy. It's been.
Yeah, so that's what they're talking about, doing just the medial side replacement.
Well, it's been an adventure the last 18 months, man.
Yeah. So we'll see. Remaining hopeful, but it kind of bites that. But I guess I can still chase real quick, and then I'll slow down.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's the problem. We're all getting older. That's why we need these new referee clinics to get more people in here, and
that's right.
Hopefully, Dennis to recruit all their homies and get out here and ref with them, make that money.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. I think, are there any more assigner updates? Anything you want to add, Ryan, from an assigner standpoint? I think he's
Do
working
you want
on
me to
the
go
other
upstairs
side.
after my next meeting's at 7? I can go upstairs for that if you want to be down there.
I know I gotta warm up some chicken nuggets or something. I got some Dino Nugs calling my name.
I've been eating this whole time, so
yeah. So I got the 7 o'clock. I don't want to miss anything. So, is there anything
Just
else?
have a quick question.
You cover. Yes.
Quick question for Ryan. I mean, when it comes to like PAC and Valor and WPSC and stuff like that, with the unknown from what numbers we will get, I mean, are you guys looking at increasing rankings for some people during this time, or assigning matches might be out of their comfort zone that they're not used to, or are you trying to stay away from that as well?
I don't know. Meeks is
might have left.
He said he was on 2 conference calls, so he might be 2-timing there, Peter. That's a fair question to our assigner friends. Bob, do you have any theory on that? I know you wouldn't be responsible directly for assigning over here, but I know you've been doing this for a long time.
Not at this point. We're going to take a look at the rankings, though.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. No, Peter, for sure. You might want to fire Ryan a note, or maybe even ask Richard that when we get to going here at 7, if you're able to jump onto that one too. That's a good question. All right.
I just don't want a shortage, or I think we should prioritize the you know, the older kids that especially that have less chances than our youngers for the rest of their career.
Right. For sure. All right. Anything else before we jump? For Jeremy gets nugs. All right. We have a motion to adjourn.
I'll
Moved.
that.
All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Got a second. All right. We will talk hopefully in a couple minutes so we can make it, and we'll be back again March 1st for this party. Keep those emails going. I'm watching all that stuff. Thank you for all your work, y'all. Keep it up.
Send me a copy of the Zoom. Send me a copy of the Zoom.
All right. I will do that. I'll reach out to you if I need help. I'm like,
All right. See you guys.
all right.
Bye.
We'll see you guys. Good to hear again.